In the Southern Mallee Giants netball report, the moment of truth has arrived. And Zali Brown, she's got to face it, and she faces it on the radio, which is an even harder place to face it, I reckon, than on the court. She's with us now. Zali, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Wayne. How are you?
I'm good. Well, it is a moment of truth for you girls. You've actually beat Minyip Matawa in the elimination first semi-final. What did it feel like to go to overtime and beat the Borough girls?
It was an amazing feeling when that final overtime siren went, the relief of having fought for that extra 15 minutes essentially. It was very tight, very stressful. But in those last 2 minutes, we were pretty comfortable with our 5-goal lead, so we could kind of enjoy the last couple of minutes of that game. Okay,
with the overtime, who got the turnovers? I mean, because obviously to win by 5 goals in that shorter period of time, you have to have had some sort of interception. So what was the key moment of the game?
I think in the first 7 minutes, it was very tight, like it was kind of goal for goal. We went into that second 5 minutes with a 1-goal lead, but it was their centre, so it was literally goal for goal. And then our defenders, Amy and Abby, I think they turned it over or got an intercept that came down to our end. It was our centre. Once we kind of got that 2 goals up, I think they started to panic a little bit, and then we were able to turn the ball over a lot more because their passes got worse and worse as they panicked a bit more, and it made it really easy to intercept and turn them into goals.
Wonderful. Good account of it. So 55 to 50, your shooting. Was the nerves on the end of it? Because you would have had to make some of those shots. When you're looking up at that goal ring and I've got to make this, you made 33, Steph made 22, Madison Morgan had 26 and Molly Fagan 22 and Lucy Brand a couple for them. So you had to make some clutch shots there, Zali.
Yeah, definitely. The pressure's on when you know they're getting their goals in. We have to make sure we get our goals in as well so they don't get that run on. So it's a lot of pressure, but thankfully you only have 3 seconds once you get the ball to think about it. So not a lot of time. You just look and shoot.
You can shoot. Very nicely put. Gee, you're a relaxed girl, you are. Cody Robbins and Abby White, the best for you girls, and Madison Morgan and Tamika Mentha for the Borough girls. Over to the other game, and it went to overtime, but an even larger win in overtime to Horsham, 58 to 49. What a game of netball it turned out to be. And the Saints faded in the latter part.
Yeah, such a tight game. I think the Demons were up for most of the game. The Saints really crawled back and got that to the draw. But I think it took all their effort to get that, to hold on to that draw. That when that extra 14 minutes, they had to play that extra 14 minutes, they just ran out of steam, and the Demons were able to power through and rightfully claim that first spot in the grand final, being top of the table all year.
They do, and you get to the Saints. Let's just go through and have a quick look in the other grades, because in the B grade competition from last week's 2 matches, we had a terrific win by Horsham, 48 to 0, 46. The Nil girls threw everything at them, and Warwick went down to Ararat, 46 to 43. So the Warwick girls are out, but Ararat now face the girls from Nil in the big prelim.
Yeah, that will be a big prelim. Obviously, Nil not having an A grade this year, I was very interested to see how their B grade would fare in finals. It'll be interesting to see if they make the grand final and they beat Ararat on the weekend, because it could be very interesting to see them play Demons again in the grand final.
All right, the C grade on the weekend had 31 to the Saints. They go into the Grandie, and Stall 29 losing to them. 54 to Horsham over Minyip Matawa. So the Minyip Matawa girls in C grade also eliminated. Horsham C's meet the Stall C grade in that game, and then in the C reserve grade, it was a very good performance for the girls over at Horsham Saints. They beat Nil 41 to 27, and then Stall 41 beat Minyip Matawa 15 to eliminate them. So Stall C reserve take on Nil in that competition.
Couple of good games, I think, there. Horsham seem to have a lot of strong sides throughout their seniors, so they're kind of featuring in everything. And then Stall and Nil are making up the rest, so it'll be interesting to see which teams make it through to that grand final.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because in the 17s, the Saints got through 58 over Horsham 44, and Warwick Eagles 50 in the 17s got over Dimmy 42, puts the Eagle girls into a prelim in the 17 and unders against Horsham.
Yeah, good, well done to them. It's been a tough season, I think, in the 17s. very close, very high-quality netball. So I'm excited to see, what the future holds for the league in those games.
And what about the 15s? Our girls from the Southern Mallee Giants, my girls really, but they were absolutely magnificent through the year, but it couldn't quite get into the finals because the Saints girls were the top 29. They beat the Eagles girls 26 in a beauty. When the other match, Horsham eliminated Dimboola 41-39. A couple of brilliant games in the 15s.
Yeah, absolutely. High-quality netball all the way through, especially in finals. I think this whole finals series has had a lot of close games, not too many games blowing out to beyond 10. So I think that just shows the quality of netball and the closeness of the competition, really anyone's game on the day.
It is, and in the 13s, the same as you say, 29 to Horsham over Saints 23, and Ararat 33 over Stawell 31, means Ararat 33 on that game. Winning, they play the loser of the other game, which is the Saints, 23 for them when they played. So maybe an interesting game here for the 13s. Let's go, though, to grand final, or to preliminary final action, and it is in seniors where it's all happening and where you Southern Mallee Giants girls just absolutely can't wait to get into it. It's the Saints again. It's the third time. It feels like we've done this before, Zali.
Yes, I think we could just replay the last conversation we had for this one.
Yes.
It seems to be a recurring matchup with the Saints, but we're very, very excited to play them again. We've played them, this will be the fourth time for the year, so I'm excited to see what the result of this one is.
Well, okay, last time you met, they got out to a fast start, 17-9. If I just repeated that tape from last time, it was something like, you've got to get off to a really good start, Zali.
Yes, I know. And actually on the weekend, if you looked at our results, we got off to a fabulous start. We had an 8-goal lead, I think, on Minyip quarter time, and we kind of did the opposite. We started really well, but then in that third quarter, we kind of faded a little bit and ended up with a draw and then time on, where we were able to pick it up again. So I think this time we need to repeat the first half of last week's game, and then like we have the last half of each game, we seem to go all right. So we just need to put that all together this weekend.
Yeah, you do. Well, they beat you by 14 in round 18, and you got back to 8. If you can bring that level of improvement again, and with the game against Minyip Mataura and the quality of netball you've just playing netball and a week out is not the same as with football, with those, where you've got the collision, and you've got people that are really sore, and a couple of weeks break is really good. Having played can actually be an advantage.
Yeah, your bodies are still there. You don't get that break to think about how sore you are. You just keep on going. But it's good. I think we're all feeling very fit. We're ready to play. Not sure how the Saints are feeling after their disappointing loss to the Demons, but we're ready to take them on.
All right. You're hoping it was contact, and heavy contact.
Lots of contact. I think they only had 7 girls. I don't think they actually had a bench or rotated at all throughout their game against the Demons. So if they're going in with that 7, maybe 8 girls, they can't really afford injuries. So hopefully we can use that. Hopefully they fatigue quicker than we do.
Did you able to use your bench? I mean, you had 4 girls on there. Did you get to use some of them through the game against Minyip Mataura?
Yeah, we did. We had a couple of blood rules. A couple of girls had to come off. So, when blood rule happens, they need to come off. The umpires said that straight away. So we did have one of our defenders came off for half a quarter, or a bit over half a quarter, and one of our wing attack also came off. So we did get those girls involved in the game. Whether that was the plan or not, I'm not sure, but we rolled with it, and they did very well coming on unexpectedly. How
did the medical staff go with patching them up?
Oh, gosh, I think it's one of our defenders gets blood rule most weeks, so we're pretty good with dealing with the blood rule now.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, I'm tipping you to have an absolute belter of a win and put a team from the Orange Brigade into the grand final. How do you think the B grade, the preliminary final will go? We've got Nil and Ararat.
Well, very close. I haven't seen, Nil didn't have an A grade this year, so I haven't seen a lot of their netball, but I'm excited to see how they go. As we said, they've got a very strong B grade this year. Ararat, I think, have also got a really strong B grade, obviously been in the prelims. So I think it could be a really close game. I'll probably tip Nil to win, but that's just my guess.
Okay, let's move down to the 17s because there's some excitement for our Warwick listeners and they play against Horsham. Can they get an upset in the prelim in the 17s?
I hope So Horsham seem to have a bit of everything everywhere. So I hope that Warwick get up and get on top of them.
I do too. So, and Warwick 15 girls play in that match against Horsham. So let's hope that one of the gold and maroons get through.
Yes, absolutely. We want to take it to Horsham, us at Warwick. We don't want them to just dominate all grades. So hopefully we can get up, and hopefully the Warwick girls can get up as well.
Yeah, and the Horsham Saints play Ararat in the 13, so getting an Ararat team into finals could be a good thing too. There's a bit of that B and C reserves that will cover off there in some games with Stall and so on. But that is a very, very good netball report. We're going to have a listen. We might commiserate, or we might be celebrating the preview of the grand final next week, because it's been a big season. And Zali Brown, great to have you on board. You go well with all the girls. Enjoy your outing, and we'll look forward to the results coming through.
I look forward to chatting next week.